Hey, hey, good morning, afternoon, and evening, whenever you guys are. You see the tag? I put maybe at the end of the art because we didn't get a chance to get into the art yesterday. And I'm sorry about yesterday. I never came back because after I ate, I wound up eating something that didn't agree with my stomach. And I was sick for the rest of the night, throwing up, lightheaded. It just didn't agree. And I kind of, after I basically dealt with all that, my energy was drained and I passed out. That being said, I'll try to finish up and continue today. Um, so at the moment, I'm waiting for Call of Duty to update, so can't really mess with Steam until this update. But that means we still can play some 2XKO. But before we do, I actually wanted to talk a little bit about AI art, and AI music. Um, how I want to go about it, I want to talk about it the same way that I have experienced it. Because I know the arguments are out there. But for me in my life, in my world, those arguments didn't come till later. Like I didn't hear arguments until later. So with that being said, let's talk about the I guess let's talk about the AI music first. Since art is a little bit will be longer, I'll get done with the AI music quicker. Um so the argument with AI music is pretty much almost the same with the AI art, right? The fact of it matter is it's a computer that scours the entire internet, basically hacks itself into everybody's computer, and takes all forms of music and media and uses it as a reference to create music for you. Um, you don't give permission, you don't get permission. It's easy to steal other people's work to create basically a track or something else. Um, there's a lot. And to be 100% honest, I completely agree with where people were getting at. But before I heard this argument, so when I got into AI art, I mean AI music, I found out about it through Suno, and I know Suno is a controversy going through lawsuits and etc. But I found out, what I'm saying, I got into it through Suno. I made a song, Suno spit it back out, and that was it. I was like, oh, so I can make my own lyrics and it will turn it into a song. Like I like that. And then I realized I could feed it my vocals, or I could feed it any vocals, and it will kind of use that to make a song, or use the help from those vocals that you fed it to make something. So I was kind of interested in like in the beginning, my stuff is very I call it robotic, very AI. Because if you don't add a human touch to it, then the music comes out very robotic in a way, in a sense. So then I started. I'm a music producer myself, so I got my own beats and stuff like that. But I got my own beat machines. I use a Pioneer SP SP SP16 for to make my beats on. Is basically kind of the Pioneer's version of a what are those things called? The Akai beat pad things. It's a standalone piece. It's pretty dope. If you are familiar with the CDJs, SDJs, I think that's what they call. Matter of fact, let me see if I can look it up. I can just show y'all a picture of it, right? I got the internet right here. So let me type it in. Pioneer Torize. I did want the AS one. I gotta see you about the AS one. This is what I have here. right? This is what I use. This is what I use to make my beats off of. This device here. Yeah, which is basically the Pioneer version to this. Most people are more familiar with this because it goes with the CDJ setup. This and this are the exact same thing. They're the exact same thing. The only thing is different is this is more for performing, and this is more for in the studio. So the reason why this is called an SP16 because you can hook up 16 mini devices into it at once. You can't do that with this here. This here is more so you hook it up with your CDJs while you're at the club and kind of it's even the same. It's basically they took the CDJ shell and basically put this thing in it. So, but it's the same thing, and it's pretty dope. I mean, I did want the little AS12 sympathizer to go with it. I'm using a let me see. Let me see. I don't know how to spell it. What was it, like a TD3 or TD13? Right here it goes, right here. Yeah, so this is what I'm using for like a sympathizer. Not all the time, but it's like it gives me those acid blade style beats. Anyway, long story short, I have some music or whatever that I made myself, and I started feeding those music to Suno, right? And as I'm doing this, as I'm doing this, it spit back out like my beat in different varieties and different ways, and I was like, oh man, this is dope. And then I started adding lyrics to it, and I'm like, this is really dope. Now, mind you, a lot of the argument that I heard, this is now the pretty much we're coming into the arguments now. Now I'm coming across the arguments to AI music. Like, how do people feel with about AI music? When people are very angry with AI music, just like how they are with AI art, and they're saying some of their arguments don't fit or don't how to say are kind of ridiculous. Basically, Sono gives the power back, gives the power to you, the average Joe, the average person, the person that doesn't really have music. Like, I mean, if you're a person like me, you could take advantage of Suno and use it for all sorts of things because you can make your own beats and then have Suno basically create all sorts of varieties of it and put lyrics on it and things to that nature. Like you really could take advantage of it. Suno is really made for people like you, but at the same time, it's to the average Joe, it really gives the power to you. Now, people are mad, and some of their arguments is like, is those are not good arguments to me. Like, okay, so they say support human artists, human artists, and I have no problem with supporting human artists. But the problem is, I've been supporting human artists my entire life. And the issue that I have with human artists is I don't actually relate to any of their music. I don't actually like any of their music. I don't actually truly want to listen to their music. The only reason why I was dealing with them in the first place is because these were the only options that we had. So basically, out of the box of things that you don't like, you just pick. Say you make a pick out of the out of the things you don't like, the things you like that you don't like. You don't like it, but it's like, all right, I'll listen to this over this. Pretty much, and that's how it's always been. Like, I'm when it comes to then, I'm sorry, my demographic, I have black skin. I was raised in the hood, Detroit, Michigan. I'm tired coming from me. I am tired of listening to music that talks about shooting my people. I'm tired of listening to music that talks about selling drugs to my people. I'm tired of listening to music that talks about getting high all the damn time. I'm tired of listening to my music that just basically says be dumb and be stupid and act dumb. I'm tired of listening to music about I I got it. You know what I'm saying? I broke up with this dude. Now I'm at an abortion clinic. Got an abortion. Now I'm twerking. I'm finally free to do whatever the hell I want to do and to be a thought. I'm tired of listening to music that tells my women that your thoughts and your hoes and you're this and you're that. The destruction of my people. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the bang bang shoot 'em up music that my people has been into. I'm tired of the NWAs, the DMXs, the Little Waynes. I'm tired of all of it. And that being said, I'm not about to run to. I don't like. I'm not about to run to the other side of the fence either. Like I'm tired of black people not being respected for rock and roll. I'm tired of rock and roll being called a white person thing, and even the white people that's on it, like some of the stuff are like real demonic. I can't relate to it. It's like I just like the same thing in my demographic. It's like I really can't relate to demons entering my head into my bed and things to that nature and the devil and I and come on, is what could I really? But I'm listening to them because these are my only options until Suno came onto my life, and now I'm listening to the music I want to listen to. I am programming myself in the music and the spirit and the beats that I want to, and then I'm learning more about Suno. So here's the thing: when I say it puts the power and control, gives it back to the listener, gives it back to you, the person. And if you are a producer or know how to make music, you can really take advantage of it. Because Suno, you can literally, um, what's the word for it? Conduct. You can be a conductor to Suno. You could tell it when to rise the beat, when to lower the beat, what instrument to rise up, what instrument to lower, when to bring in the drop, how long did you want the beats to go for, how fast you want the beats to go for, what instruments to bring in. If you can do little things with your voice, and you can feed that to it, and it'll just kind of will know like the more information you can give to it in the prompt, the more control you actually have over it. Is deeper than just make me a dubstep beat song about blah blah blah. You don't put that, and then you go into the style and you be like dubstep, written hip hop or whatever. No, you don't do that. So when you in the lyrics, like if you're making a beat, like you don't want no lyrics, you're making a beat. And that whole thing where it says write lyrics, that whole thing needs to be instrumental, and not just instrumental. You need to explain how fast you want the beat, how many bars you want the beat to go to before it changes phases. You know what I'm saying? What phases what do you want to happen when it changes phases? Do you want any sound effects or any certain instruments or whatever to come in? Like you could literally conduct it. You see, it puts the power back into you. Um, so for people to say that support local artists, my whole attitude on that is I will support local artists when local artists or human artists when human artists start making music that I can actually relate and get with. Like if you listen to my AI music track, it is wildly different than my normal music track from everybody else of the world. Like everybody else of the world, like my subjects matters and the things that I talk about, and a lot of it is learning. Like if I'm studying for a test, I'll turn that test, what I'm studying for, into a song. So everything that I need to know will be in the song, and I'll just repeat the song over and over and over again. So I use it for a lot of different things. Me and my wife, our relationship became a lot better when that came into our life, because it was a period of time where we were communicating, but it was like nothing was getting through to the other, and that actually helped. Like she put her feelings in, I put my feelings in. We created little songs, or whatever, and we was kind of able to get across some emotions and some feelings with each other to better understand one another. And it's like you're trying to take that from me. My kids can make music. I'm making music for my kids. Like they get their own little Five Little Duck song with their names and everything. They can go waddle around in. And they love it. You're trying to take that from me. You trying to take that from us, the people, so I can go and buy music about taking drugs and sleeping with a whole bunch of different women and abusing other people or being an asshole to another person or being a shit faced kind of a human being? Like seriously, then it doesn't even matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian. Like these music ain't really good. Listen to the lyrics. But this is the songs that you put in your head over and over and over again. You're repeating these songs over and over and over again, and you wonder why divorce rates are so up. Fatherless homes are in there. Why violence is so high. Like this is what y'all put in y'all spirit. Okay, so that's one of the arguments, right? That was support your local, support human artists, support human. And then another artist is basically do it yourself. You're taking the easy way out or copping out. Man, first off, me personally, I'm a solo developer. I'm doing everything by myself, right? I'm coding the game. I am doing the art. I'm creating. I'm doing all the Not only am I doing, I'm doing the concept art. I'm creating all the. I'm creating all of the move sets. I'm planning all the move sets. I got art books and art books and art books and notebooks and notebooks and notebooks just full of things because I'm doing everything by myself. I got to come up with the story, the character, the dialogue, the lines, the script, the actions, the camera scenes, the lighting. I have to do everything. And you're telling me that some new technology came out to make my life easier, and you want me to not take that to support human artists. But the thing is, I'm just like, I don't have that money. I'm not a big studio. I haven't worked a physical job since COVID-19, the shutdown. I've been pretty much a stay-at-home dad because my wife's job was a essentials worker's job, so she never stopped working. And then because of all that, they moved her up in the position, and now she makes a shitload of money an hour. So her job automatically would take priority over anything that I get or do. I'll have to work myself up to get to that dang point. And even so, the hours of her job is so or the hours of her job kind of interrupts me working at kind of anywhere. Like, cause if her hours interrupts it corresponds with my hours, I'm going to have to fall back because I'm not making. I wouldn't be making half of what she was making at that point in time, right? And then we have four kids, and two of those kids are twin babies. They're only one, right? So somebody has to take care of them as well. And then schools and this and that. And yeah, it could be a tag team thing, but just the way our life is set up, it was pretty much I'm a stay at home dad until further notice, right? So all that was to be said to say that I don't have the money to afford humans. Period. Unless they're willing to come work and we sign some contract, and then once we make the product and out of the general pot, like you get your cut out of the general pot, you know what I'm saying? Get into some stocks and stuff like that, whatever. Like you become part of the team, and you basically get paid just like everybody else when it makes money, and you get a percentage of the money that's being made. So if we make a lot, you get a lot. We make a little, you get a little, basically. Unless you're willing to do that, I can't afford to hire anybody. But now you're still saying I should support human artists. But now let me ask you this. Are you willing to spend the money to pay for that human artist for me so I do not have to deal with AI music? No, you're not. But you're quick to jump and say something to the next person, to the who uses it for whatever they use it for. That being said, I don't have AI. I'm not going to have AI music in my final production. I do have a art person on the team. He is basically working for free until we start making money in the game. So when it comes down, I'm just not bothering him because I'm not further along in development. Once get a little bit further along in development, then I'll start making my requests for particular songs and things of that nature to be thrown in the game. Plus, I'm also going to make my own as well. We're going to tag team and that this and that nature. But that's more that's after the second quarter of development, right? We're still in the first quarter. So therefore I'm not really worried about it. But I'm just throwing that out there for people to be like, oh, you got AI music, da 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 da. Now, granted, I'm not putting AI music because of the argument or because of how you guys feel about it. I'm not putting it in there because, again, I actually want to incorporate the music that I've created and the music that he's created. Like we kind of been working together for a little while, and I don't want to just like spit all over that by throwing some robotic generated music in there. But I'm other places like personal listening at home, placeholders or whatever, like on a stream or something like that. Yeah, I'll play the music there because it's like it's whatever, you know. But one of the arguments, another argument that came in. So, oh, wait. Timbaland. Yeah, let's talk about him real quick. Timbaland came out of nowhere, and I know there's a lot of controversy behind that one. But Timbaland came out, and Timbaland started in working with Suno. Basically, let's just say it like that. He started working with Suno to help guide Suno for so we have better users for us. And Timbaland is a guy that I inspired to be like. I've always loved Timbaland. I always loved his music, his beats, like. And to be honest, Timbaland kind of understands. Like I understand Timbaland and where he's coming from, and a lot of people don't because you're not of the demograph. I'm gonna say it straight and blunt. You're not of Timbaland's demograph. You don't have his history. You don't have his backstory. You don't know where Timbaland is coming from and why he's such a little kid right now with Suno. He's a little kid right now because he basically everything that this dude went through back in the day to do what he is doing has basically been summed up in some app on the phone that you can just quickly ba da 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 da, and now it is able to release his creativity in so many different ways. Now you guys are mad about him because he goes on. I guess he'll take clips or sound bites of other people's work and feed it into Suno to make a remix and pretty much. And I understand where you got, but I'm just gonna say I understand where both of you guys are at, where you stand at. Like so where everybody else is getting at is basically you're not getting permission for this type of music. You're not getting permission to use this stuff, and you're going and da 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 da, and you make a song with it and da 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 da. And Timbaland is pretty much he's basically saying like Timbaland is coming from a place where like you got to talk about the birth of DJing, the birth of hip hop, the birth of rap. Not necessarily no, the birth of hip hop rap, not the birth of rap because rap is actually older than hip hop. Rap has been out since like I know it was a group of brothers, those Christian brothers that did that. They rapped poetry on music, talking about Noah and Bible stories. So rap kind of goes. It has a really old history, but the actual hip hop rap that we know, that was actually based off of DJing, and the DJing that we know was a whole new thing. Now let's talk about asking permission to use people's music, right? A lot of people personally that don't like because I'm from Seattle, Washington. Seattle, Washington has a buttload of DJs and a buttload of music producers, and everybody hates AI and AI music. So a lot of what's that in real life communications that I had with these people, not online stuff. Um, they was speaking their discomfort on AI music, but I asked them, Do you know who Grandmaster Flash is? And they'd be like, no, I don't know who that is. Or they'd be like, I think he's some DJ or something. And when I asked, see the fact you're a DJ, you're DJing at parties, you're DJing at clubs, you making music on this electronic music instruments, basically, right? And you're saying that you don't like AI music because they basically are stealing they're stealing other people's musics without permission. But you don't even know who Grandmaster Flash is. And Grandmaster Flash is the whole reason, like, he's one of the main reasons why you're DJing in the first place. You would not even be a DJ if it wasn't for Grandmaster Flash. And the fact that you don't even know who he is says a whole lot, but yet you're talking about people are stealing other people's music and without using permission. Grandmaster Flash, see, back then DJing was just a record player with the little mixer, and that was it. There was no crossfader, no faders. It was just radio. Is like once the song was done, then the guy would talk smooth words while he played the next song. It was no constant flow of music. All right, so that's original DJing. Okay, then Grandmaster Flash went into a little store that is no longer here. There might be some in America. I haven't heard about the last store like Blockbuster, but I know where I'm from, there's no more. All of them are closed down. But he went into this little store called Radio Shack, right? And he spent the money, bought this equipment, and then we rewired this equipment to create what we know today as a DJ setup. He created the crossfader that we use that is essential into scratching. And he created some of the original scratches. The beat juggle. Like, DJing was not DJing until this guy went in and started tweaking with bits and pieces from Radio Shack and creating custom builds. So back in the day when DJing started, it's not like today where everybody and their mama could be a DJ. Back in the day when DJing started, it was only a few because you had to have the knowledge on how to put this equipment together. Then comes in Numark. Then comes in Pioneer. Then comes in Rain, who monopolized off of this. They saw what we were doing out in the streets of New York. That they saw what we were doing. That spread it out to California. They saw what we were doing in our hoods. They saw how we were throwing our parties. And they said, you know what? We're going to turn this into a controller. Did they get paid for that? No. No. Grandmaster Flash is not getting paid for that. He's not getting endorsed from that. Grandmaster Flash is still a regular person just like you and I. Pioneer, a CDJ costs $3,000, and basically our common Pioneer setup is a $2,000 mixer and 4 of these $3,000 wheels on each side. Does he get endorsed for that? No. Does he even get credit for that? Like, these DJs are out here DJing now and acting like they the original, ready to teach someone else how to DJ or how to be the best DJ, telling them quick to say what to do and what it is, but you don't even know who Grandmaster Flash is, and he's still alive. You telling me about a baby scratch to a chirp scratch? You would even have that if it wasn't for him. You can't even tell me who created the baby scratch, who created the chirp scratch, who created the transformer, but you want to tell me
what's good and what's bad on it. So when it comes down to stealing music or having permission to use something, did they have permission? What about these brothers right here who created entire genres of music, and not only created genres of music but boards and pieces off of their invention, and they get no credit for? And then, so let me go to it here. So this video here, I'm not gonna actually play it because I don't want to get flagged and that to that nature. But I'm putting this up so you can go ahead and look this up for yourself. But he gives you a history. He gives you a history of how all this came to be. Not only does he give you a history, he gives you a bit of a demo. And now in the demo, he takes two of the same tracks, right? But they're disco tracks. And he goes to the break part, right, or the dance part, the breakdown, and he starts beat juggling the breakdown. But then some music, he changes the pitch, um, change the tempo, and then starts beat juggling that, and he's producing early like Biggie Smalls beats, Tupac beats, and things to that nature, showing how these beats came to be that the early rappers were rapping off of. Did those guys get permission to do that? No. In fact, that was the hip hop culture, is what country or disco or whatever type of song that you can find that you can frickin' break up and turn it into a hip hop beat. That was the whole culture. So did they get permission back then? That's the culture. That's why I said this is very demographic. You don't understand the demograph. Of course, they didn't go through that on the other demographic, the people that have the argument. They just basically feed off of it at the end once he decides to actually let it be played on radio. Another thing about DJing was you didn't never let our music and our songs get be played on the radio or whatnot. Or it was bad. And even today, now they took like disco tracks and turned it into hip hop beats. Now those same beats that they turned into hip hop beats and those songs, people are today are taking those songs, clipping them out and editing them and making other songs with them. Making new songs. Do they get permission for it? No, because they changed the meaning and all that or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But that's what they're doing. I can go on YouTube right now and look up all sorts of, I'll look up somebody's song, and I can put EDM remix or whatever, and it'd be a whole bunch of people that took that song and chopped it up on Audacity and everything else. But so what's different with the AI doing it outside of the fact I'm not spending the hours and hours and hours a day for one song? If it's not straight stealing, jacking, and whatnot. But anyway, but yeah, so go ahead and watch, you know what I'm saying, look this up yourself. See what he has to say. Learn the history yourself. Hear it out the horse's mouth. And then watch him actually perform. This is where Timbaland is coming from. Right? You got to remember that not only did we start the DJing, we started hip hop, we started bluegrass, we started jazz, we started rock and roll. We also started electronic dance music. Like, I dare say we started country. Like 90% of music that is so called in the white demographic was started by the black demographic. So this is just where we stand. So when it comes to people telling, I'm just basically putting this out there for you to make your own choices, right? Don't follow the crowd just because it's the crowd. Now, Timbaland came out, he said he was doing this and doing that with it. And who is Timbaland? Right. Need I say more? Do I have to talk about all the songs that he produced, all of his music? Like, you know who Timbaland is. Even if you don't know who he is, you know what at least one or two of the songs that he produced is. But as far as everybody else, who are you? Where's your music? Or I produce da 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 da. You produce a bunch of no name people locally or whatever like that. Like naming one of your songs. Let me pull it up. Where's Vimeo? Where's YouTube? Like pull it up. Let me hear what you got. Let me figure out like who are you? Like you didn't make my childhood. Timbaland definitely made my childhood. So when he says something, I kind of value his structure over the person that's just ranting on the internet. Granted, whatever he's a multi-millionaire, billionaire, or whatever he is, but again, he has the skills to pay the bills, and he has the resume to truly speak on the subject matter. It's not just because I mean it makes a lot of people don't want to listen to him because he's actually supporting and helping with the AI music and mold it to where is that pretty much. So now it's like, oh, he has like part in it, he has money in it or whatever like that. So he has to talk like this and like that. And I'm just like, no, like why does he have money in it? Why did he choose to support it and put his name up, and especially against all the hate that he's getting? Why? Because it's a few reasons. One, this is something that he believes in. It's something that he wants to see grow. And two, the arguments are coming from a completely different demographic, different side of the fence. Like Timbaland is always going to be good in his demographic, no matter what, whether he uses AI or don't use AI. Always going to be good. Everybody's always gonna run to a Timbaland beat. Like most of Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake is Justin Timberlake because Timbaland made his beats, wrote his music. Basically, break up with NSYNC, who he came from, and go sign under Timbaland. So yeah, I kind of follow that. Now that being said, I mean you can go on here also. You know what I'm saying? Not just this video, but go ahead. You can get on this video because this is right here. Timbaland uploads the beat. Sonos without permission. This is, yeah, people's argument and what's going on. But go ahead and look up everything that's been said about it. You know what I'm saying? Look up the argument. Make your choice yourself. That's all I'm pretty much getting on. Make the decision yourself. Don't just run with the crowd just because the crowd or a certain demographic won't like it. Now, if you're in that demographic and your prime target, your target audience is that, then yes, you go have to make some choices. But if you're just being you or just trying to express yourself or anything to that nature, man, don't let these guys freaking knock you down because of their personal agreement. Like you never met these people before in your life, and then when you walk away, you're never gonna see them again. And 10 minutes to an hour after you walk away, you'll forget they ever even existed. So don't give them that much power over you. So let's talk about AI art. That one's a little bit longer because that one has more of a journey. I had more of a journey in. So I first found out about AI art back in the day, and it was not good at all. It really wasn't good at all. But it was perfect for me because I didn't need it to be good. I just needed it was just concept art. I always used it for concept art. That's all. As soon as I generated my first AI image, I was like, "Oh, okay, concept art." Or come up with different concept designs and things to that nature. Granted, I know about the building a model and then creating a lore off that model and training that model and what is used to be trained the model and things, but all that information came a little bit later. Like at this moment in time, I'm just going on, and I believe I started with the Wabu Dream by Wabu. I started with them, and they owe me $40, but started with them. And I was just, generating stuff up and generating ideas. In fact, let me show you a character I made. This character is not AI art.
but the concept design of the character did come from a series of different AI pictures that I just sort of took bits and pieces of what I liked from this picture, what I liked from this picture, what I liked from this picture, and then just went and made a full character. So let me just, I want to show you the character that I made. Which if you know who I, if you know me, if you ever followed me, you know who I am, you know this character. Right, so the character's design was generated through a series of different AIs, but all of this art, all of this animation is all mine, all my hand drawn, whatever, the whole shebang, pretty much, right? But that's what I used it for. That's what I primarily used it for, was concept art and just ideas. Like, it's an idea machine. Um, so I started producing a bunch of concept arts, and 100 pictures turned into thousands of pictures and thousands of pictures, and I, f- I was like really happy because it was like, man, it takes me. That is the longest when it comes to designing with me. The longest part of development and designing comes into the planning, is in the planning stages. I did tattoos for over 10 years, and the one thing I had an issue with was designing the tattoo. Pretty much took longer than the tattoo itself, almost every time. And the designing of the tattoo takes hours to days to weeks to months just to kind of get it, the right idea, the imagination, and the vision. And I've trained my imagination a lot. Like, I'm a character designer, and that was my passion, was designing characters and designing actions, but like dynamic poses. But the thing is, you can only come up with so much, and you can only do so much, whatever. And what's that? Concept artists also cost a lot of money. And then even if you get concept artists, they're still like concept arting. It's like their art in a way, especially if you don't have a clear vision of how you want a particular character to look like. So is it really your character, or is it that person that you're paying for a character? And even so, that person is expensive, which I cannot afford. And it's for concept art, so it's not even going to show up in the actual in game or in game art. So I really, really can't afford nothing that's not going to show up in game. So the AI concept was great, but then I started hearing the arguments. The arguments, like, and granted, yeah, I agree with the arguments to a point. So one of the arguments was, feeding it work that isn't yours and telling it to generate music based off the work that isn't yours. I completely understand where people are coming from. I probably say I'm sitting on the fence with this one. I don't stand on either side. I'm chilling on the fence when it comes to this argument, because I do agree and I also disagree, because that's kind of what concept art is and things of that nature. You use other people's arts to reference, and there are some things. So these are basically I say is in a case scenario. Like, majority, 90% of the time, you're like, yeah, it's bad, but sometimes you want a character that's like Wolverine, or you want a character that's like Mega Man, is somewhat similar. Like, so you want to see what kind of concept work that you can generate with a Mega Man design that you actually want something like in general. And I say on that case basics, then I'll be like, okay, go ahead and feed it um, a Marvel comic, or go ahead and feed it a Capcom character that you, because you're trying to make something similar. Like, what's this game over here? Let's go over here. Like, basically, let's say I'm trying to come up with a Mega Man design that's like Mega Man, but not.
exactly Mega Man. So I feed it this Mega, because come on, this is Mega Man's pose. But I feed it this Mega Man pose and be like, make me a Mega Man that has like a different helmet, turn it into a girl, and blah 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 blah. Give me a design, and I push back out a design, and I get a design like this, and I'm like, yeah, I like it. This is kind of what I was going for, kind of not, but me being an artist, if this is kind of what I'm going for, then I can go ahead and edit and actually make it what I'm going for the rest of the way, basically, and feed it back to it and see if I can get more of a solid idea concept out of it. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, like that would be the only time that I say that you should feed it like art off the internet or somebody else's work. If you're trying to actually get something like a design that's similar to that, and then I know people can understand that because you have Ryu from Street Fighter, and then you have KO from Art of Fighter, which is pretty much a Ryu clone. You have all sorts of basically clones of characters, and come on, man. So let's not get too finicky with it. But I'm just saying, like, are you going to pay for the people? Like, you want me to pay for the human concept artist? Are you going to pay that money for that for me? Because I don't have it. And even if I did have it, I feel that money could be best used to making sure that I have robot netcode in my game, or GCPO in my game, or hiring some 3D modelers and get some 3D cell shading assets into my game, or things of that. And I feel like that, or I can use it for my artificial intelligence in game, like how the computer acts and operates and things of that nature. Get a real good one. I feel like that money could really, for just concept art that's not even going to make it in the game, could really be used for something else. So while you're over there screaming support human artists to that nature, are you going to pay for that? No, you are not. At the same time, even if you was going to pay for it, can that human artist push out thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures? No, it cannot. But then, going off of that, I kind of doubled down on my argument on that note, and then here comes Capcom releasing a statement. Hold on, let me get back to it. Get back to it. Yeah, and then here comes. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, and here comes Capcom. So you can look this up right here. It's IGN. So this is a official article. Uses generative AI to create thousands of ideas. And I'm sorry, Capcom, obviously, obviously, Capcom is a company I am definitely inspiring to be like. Capcom is what motivated me to do sprites in the first place. Capcom is what motivated me to do a action game in the first place. So to hear Capcom stepping out and it basically is using generative AI for the same exact reasons that I'm using it for, I really, really, really can't hear other people, because at this point now I'm like, where is your games? Where's your work? Where's your portfolio? Capcom, again, just like with Tim, made my childhood. Mega Man, Street Fighters, X-Men Children of the Atom, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Marvel superheroes, Marvel versus Street Fighters, Marvel versus Capcom, Marvel versus Capcom 2, the Street Fighter Alpha series, Street Fighter Alpha 2, the freaking it was Alien versus Predator, the Alien versus Predator beat 'em up, the Punisher beat 'em up, Final Fight, um man, there's so much. Then they came out with the Resident Evil series. Then they came out with the Devil May Cry series. So now they got Monster Hunter. So when it came to Capcom, like they kind of made my childhood. So for them to find out that they are using it the same way that I'm using it, it really, really, really makes me hard to hear people's arguments. Now that being said, I am one of those peoples as well. Who am I, right? I fit in the same category. That's why I said make your own decisions, make your own choice. Don't just follow with the crowd. Don't let just anybody. 'Cause I mean, I don't have the portfolio. I didn't make your childhood. My work and my games didn't make your childhood. So who am I and what am I saying, right? But I'm just getting at, like, I'm just showing how, like, you should just make your own choices, because as the little person, the person that doesn't have, they're attacking the little person, they're attacking the person that doesn't have, they're attacking the small teams or the solo developers. They're not going after these big companies, these big wigs. Why aren't you boycotting Capcom games for using AI generation to create ideas? But you would basically boycott an indie game for using AI generation to create ideas. I'm not saying putting AI generation in the game. I'm just saying the general use of it. If they mark that they use it at all, you would completely deny that person any a chance at all. But you're not doing it for these big companies, right? You're not stopping and listening to all Timbaland's music and who Timbaland supports and everything like that. But you yell at everybody else that uses it. Yeah, you're yelling at Tim, but you're yelling at the solo devs, the solo devs. You're not really trying to get at Tim. You're trying to get at the people that you can basically knock down, that you can destroy, the people that don't have a resume, the people that don't have the big company, the people that don't have the money to hire the people to do the things that you're even saying that we need to do or we should do. So don't let people tell you about, what I'm saying, what they're saying with the argument. Now, I started around this time, I'm starting to learn a little bit more about AI art and how it's doing what it's doing. So I'm starting to learn about the models. I'm starting to learn about the Soras and how I'm just using what is that, an easy bit version. This is kind of when I transferred over to Leonardo. But I realized, like, oh no, if I'm really gonna do this, I have to get the full program, right? The open, what is it, the mid, not mid journey, the comfy UI or whatever like that, and I actually have to create a model and train the model myself, right? If I really want to use AI work and inside final production, I will have to create the model and train the model myself with all my own work, just all of it, just so it can draw like me, my style, and it's just using my stuff for reference. It's not using anybody else's, so nobody can't say anything about the argument and everything like that, because no one's really saying anything about that. If you train the model yourself, like, everybody goes, oh, and I can't really say nothing about that, but they're just gonna find something else going back to their original argument to complain about. Basically, they need something to complain about, right? Even if you find you're not, because I'm all their arguments, I don't have to worry about none of their arguments. Even if I was worried about it, I wouldn't have to worry about it, because I'm not doing anything that they're talking about in their arguments. But at the same time, they still find a reason to argue with those people. That being said, this video here, now, if you're an animator and you don't know who this is, you need to go ahead and go back to school and start doing some history research. Okay. Just in case you don't know who this is, you definitely are familiar with his work. He animated Nala and Lion King. He animated the Beast and Beauty and the Beast. He animated the little angry dude and the little angry short dude in Mulan. He directed Brother Bear, was his first movie that he directed. He created, was it Zaza the tiger in Aladdin? So basically, this guy, once again, made our childhoods. Right? He's made childhoods. He has a portfolio. He has the skills to pay the bills. So his words actually
is more of a value than who are you off the street? Who are you just making a YouTube video rant? Who are you? Like this guy is a legend, legendary. And in this particular video, he's basically reacting to somebody else making an AI video, right? And his reaction to it and the things that he says about it is my same argument. It's literally my argument. And he actually even goes and admits that if he had the time and the know-how to, he would build his own generative model with all his art, with everything else, that does it his way, so he can use it to fill in these in-betweens and to basically that nature, right? He also said that this is the same argument reoccurring back again, because this argument came before. It just was a different medium, right? So this same thing goes with music as well. Digital media versus analog media. So let's go back to the music real quick, right? There was a problem when you went from live bands to DJing. DJing, like if DJs were to pick up, then basically there was no more need for live bands. They were taking over the live bands. They were taking the live bands job. So back when DJing was like coming out and picking up, everybody was saying support your live bands, support your human live bands versus that one guy that's scratching up other people's music, destroying records. Then after that, saying DJing caught on, and it's still to this day, are live bands? No, if anything, I said there's even more jobs and positions for live bands than there ever has been. You see live bands everywhere, and live bands is a key part of actual like movie and cinema production, and to that nature. So come on, man, they're there and they're live and it is big. So, but after that, now everybody's DJing and got the live bands and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, DJing went from records to CDs, and that was the problem. No, no, support your record spinning DJs. Don't go to the CDJs. Now it's no even they don't. It's not even CDs anymore. Now it's just pure digital. And now they went from digital, from flash drives and flash disk to now they can now you can DJ your streaming services. So if you have like what are those streaming services like Pandora or something like that, you can start streaming that to your DJ table and DJ mix those. But that was the argument back then. It's the same as AI. Now going into the animation, it was hand drawn 2D, hand drawn 2D, hand drawn 2D. Then came digital media art, and that was a problem. No, keep hand drawn 2D alive. Don't don't go 3D like when Toy Story came out or whatever. That was real controversy. Now 3D is the standard. But did it completely kill hand drawn 2D? No. Hand drawn 2D just found its place. Like I understand you don't make big movies anymore hand drawn 2D because that's a lot of money, cause especially compared to 3D. Yeah, let's save money. It's no point, especially if you're not going to make your money back and go bankrupt creating the movie. I understand. But for TV shows, no, they do hand drawn 2D. And where does hand drawn 2D really shine nowadays? Video games. The original hand drawn 2D, cell shaded, hand drawn is now thriving in video games. You can go on Steam and they have an entire genre now of hand drawn. So he makes this point, that of that argument of digital going from analog to digital in the medias and the art, and even so, like Photoshops and illustrators and clip studios, like that was a problem versus drawing it on paper and drawing it on cells and painting and using watercolors and things of that nature, right? That was a big argument back in the day. Now it's a standard, and also it did not kill
the original. It's just that people stopped doing the original and transferred over to the digital because they realized how it's pretty much the same thing, and it's actually somewhat better because it's like you're cutting off steps and you're getting a better end quality out of it. So I can kind of understand, right? And then now they have bone mechanics for 2D animation to so you can animate like 3D. So this is all like digital, and this was a problem back then. And AI is just the next phase of that transferring. Now everybody's like, don't do this, don't do that. But 5, 10 years from now, it's going to be the standard. And if you're not up on the game, you're going to be left in the dust. See, a lot of people was complaining like the past few years, talking about, oh, jobs are being taken, jobs are being taken. Let's do something about it. These people are taking our jobs. These people are taking our jobs. And in reality, who's taking your jobs are robots and AI. And even so, the AI is only taking your job because you are choosing not to get with the program. AI and robots taking your jobs just leaves new jobs, but different jobs. Now you go into robotics, go into computer engineering, get with the program or get left behind. Because regardless, you even though you're angry about it, you're not going to stop it because certain things are just cost effective and it's just easier. Another thing that people don't talk about when they say support your human artists or your human people, people themselves, even if you have the money for it, people themselves are difficult to deal with. And sometimes the person themselves, like you may know a little bit about the person, like you don't want to support the person. Like I'm to be honest, you could be a dope artist, but if I know you're a murderer, you're a rapist, or you did some crazy things back in the day and you never got caught for, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, your attitude or your personality, I don't know if I'm still going to want to hire you to have you do the work for me just because you can do it. You see what I'm saying? Or if I can never talk to you, or if I can never like get an instruction off of you, or if you keep drawing what I ask you to draw, but you keep adding your own little thing to it, and I keep telling you not to, and things like it's so hard. And take it from me doing tattoos for all those dang time. If you haven't seen the show, what's that show, Ink Masters, watch that because that Ink Masters was like real, and like those people that they brought in, those were real issues. Like when they complain about, well, I don't want this, I don't want that, I want this, I want that. Those are real issues that we deal with in real life and doing tattoos. People are very difficult, even if you're the best, even if you're a pro, even if they're getting it for free, even if you're getting it for a steal, you're still even if you're paying them a bunch of money, there's some people are still extremely difficult. So this kind of takes away a lot of those things. Now, so go ahead and like watch this and see what he says about it. Like, because he brings up those arguments. He doubles down on the arguments, and like I said, he even said that he would, if he had the time and the know-how, he would train up a AI around all of his stuff to do what he wants it to do. And with that being said, that's pretty much where I stand on AI. Like, I personally, me personally, and my demographic. Like, if we look at let me just look at right now. Right, what do we say? We say AI. What do we want to say? AI art is wrong, right? AI art is wrong, right? Let's look it up. Now, all this, all you see. What demographic do you see? Mostly C. I want you to pull out your notebook and get a pencil and start marking down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. Start marking down the demographics you see, male, female, and also what demographic. I told a friend of mine, this argument is actually very, very, very demographic. Like I realized it because I was getting so lost in it, and I realized like everybody I'm arguing with and everybody that has something to say is all of a certain demographic, and I'm sort of not targeting this demographic in the first place because I'm Afro warrior, Afro art. You know, my art's gonna have afros and braids and box braids and locks. I don't call them dreads because there's nothing dreadful about locks and things to that nature. So it's like, yeah. But at the same time, even though I'm not targeting this demographic, this I do want this demographic to play, and I am gonna have things for this demographic in game, and I have people of this demographic to help make sure that I get this demographic right, so I'm not offending and that nature. And if I get any other demographic in my game, then I'm gonna go after. I'm gonna find those people, you know what I'm saying, in real life as well to help me to make sure that I'm not offending or overstepping boundaries or things to that nature. 'Cause that's the last thing I want, you know, because I played games and things in that nature like Bioshock, Bioshock Infinite, right? Man, that game is hurtful as hell. Honestly, last night I just watched Prey, and Prey was very hurtful. And it was like it was. I was trying not to be, and this is my first time watching it. People of this very same demographic love that movie. That I kept hearing a lot of things about it. They kept talking about hyping it up, and eventually I watched it because I didn't had no idea it was part of the Predator series. So when I watched it, it was hard. It was very, 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 very hard for me to watch because it takes it off of the indigenous the Native Americans, the indigenous people of America. This was during a time where the settlers came over and started killing off the buffaloes, so they wouldn't have food over here, right? And these are the same people that brought us over on slave ships and had us bring America. And you basically are giving us a early version concept of that, and kind of showing us in that life of that time, back when it was over here massacring, back during the Trail of Tears, and it was just massacring the indigenous people. And I'm like, to everybody else now, I'm also while I'm watching it, all I'm remembering is everybody, how everybody of this demographic love that movie, praise that movie because it's a Predator movie. And I'm like, to y'all this is a movie, but to a lot of people this is real life. Take the Predator out of it. Predator is the only thing that's fake about the movie. That was the only thing that was fake. Everything else was real and has real history and has real suffering and real pain behind it. And it just really made me mad. I had to calm myself down. Like stuff like that kind of does piss me off. But I have to calm myself down because at the same time it's like, who are you that made this and you're benefiting off of, you know what I'm saying, the pain and the suffering of it to make a Predator movie? I mean, I love Predator, but dang, it just was hard. Same thing goes with BioShock Infinite. BioShock Infinite was yeah, let's look it up. Yeah, BioShock Infinite. This was extremely hard to play. And it was even harder was everybody that was of the other demographic loved this game. And they're like they really could not see how this game was like very, 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 very hard to play. And it was like, of course you don't, because you're not of the demographic, you're not of the history. Like, come on, look at all the signs. And I was the when I played it, I was going to those little things, like those little audios, those little visuals or whatever, to get you a little history of how all this stuff. I was looking at all these signs. I was looking at every single thing up there. I'm like, this whole thing, this is so hard to play. Very hard. I wind up killing every demographic that was enslaved those people that I came across that I could, that the game allowed me to. I didn't give nobody a chance. I was so dang mad. And what made me even madder was it wasn't a black person that saved the black people. And of course it's not. It's basically you're John Brown in this game. Because it's like the only way we're going to get free if John Brown steps up and frees us. That's it. And so this game is very hard, and that was like very hurtful. But at the same time, it's just like this is where we are in life. People make money. They don't care. Did they call up one of us? Did they call because they making mockery of the African Americans here in America? They're making mockery of the Mexicans here in America. They're making mockery of the Chinese over here in America. They're making mockery of the Native Americans over here in America. Did they call us up and ask us, "Hey, is this of saying would this be offensive if we do this?" Would it be okay, whatever? Did they get a committee behind or anything like that? Did they start a petition and anything? Did they, test the waters first before? No, they just straight out came out with it. And why? Because this is like a game that's targeting their demographic. It was made for their demographic, and people of other demographics really not, don't really know about it because it's not really like a game they will play on a normal, right? So it's just like for the fact that I want to have people come in so I don't offend people in a different demographic on my game, it shows that I'm kind of like taking a little bit more of an extra step than other people kind of would take, right? So, that being said, like make your own decisions, do what works for you, especially if you're like an indie dev, solo dev, you ain't got the money for it. I say the best thing to do is to pick your target audience first and then pick your sub audiences, like so, and then kind of cater towards your target audience. Unless you're doing a passion project, if you're doing a passion project, then I don't put whatever AI, whatever you want in it. Do whatever you want. If it's a passion project, do what your passion is to get that vision and get that story out there. And that's another thing AI is good for. It gives the people that don't have the skills to be able to kind of release a vision, show their vision, like they at least to get their vision across to the person that has the skills to actually like do it professionally and do it and do it legitimately. But I'm just saying in general, like don't let this crowd of AI and people, because 5-10 years down the road, they're gonna be crying while you got jobs and you're employed and stuff like that. And even so, oh, AI is taking the jobs of artists. No, they're not. The only job our artists they probably fired were concept artists, and it's not even the main like they still have their main concept artists. It's just all the other concept artists for that extra ideas. Saying that extra brain power. They're just not hiring them no more. But other than that, nah, because you still, no matter what, even with AI, you're still gonna need a human behind it to get what you want out of it. Like as a artist, like if I were to use AI in my final production, it would be so much. There's so much human work that I had to put into it that I literally feel like it's just much easier to do the work yourself because it's dang near the same amount of work. Watch that one with Aaron, the video that I showed you guys with Aaron um making his little basically giving his reference to the AI video that somebody made, and he'll tell you straight up, like he's watching all the production and everything. Like when the guy is doing it, like he's showing all the production that he had went into, and he's basically said at this point, this guy is not even using. He's using AI as a filter, and not as a generative thing because all that work, all that personal work that he put in was like, come on, it's work of a human. So I hope. I know I was rambling on for a minute, but that's kind of where I stand when it comes to AI art, AI music. And I know a lot of people are not gonna like what I said, and I know a lot of people are gonna feel what I said. And it doesn't matter if you like it, and it doesn't matter if you feel me. Just make your own decision. If you don't like it, that's fine. but don't go start bashing down your neighbor who's in basically the same boat as you because they don't want to listen to negative music or because they don't have the money to afford for an artist, but they're trying to create a game or they're trying to make a product. And that whole, oh, just make, if you can't afford an artist and you can't draw, just make a game with squares. That's insane to me. I mean, understand like the whole square thing. That's got a little out of hand. Like it started with, if you don't have the skills to draw art, you can literally make a game with squares. See, like Thomas Was Alone. That's a game made of squares, and it will make you cry. See, that's fine because it's saying that it's telling you to just make a game, just go for it, despite your skills. Because some people made it, they have no art skills, so they just made a bunch of squares and they made a full game off of it, and it did well, and it will make you cry. That's what they're saying. They're not telling you like, oh, you can't draw, make a game full of squares. That's not what they're saying. They're just saying to just do it. Just go about doing it. Even if you have AI generation in your game could be a concept or a way to kind of get your vision out and to the people to like try it to where you can get help. Like, you know what I mean? So keep in mind, like the people, the same people that got something to say are the same people that's not trying to help you in your production. Like legit, they not gonna spend a dime for you to hire the people. They're not going to introduce you to the people. They're not going to put in the work to find the people for you. They're not going to pay for it. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to make sure that you're okay. They're not going to make sure you're done. Like the only thing they're going to do is buy your game and talk about it. And either play your game if it's good and if it's not, whatever. But they'll talk about it and here and there. But that's pretty much about it. They're not helping you create the game unless you have a following that's like donating like a Patreon or a crowdfunding. But if you have crowdfunding, then those people that are crowdfunding you are supporting you and what you are doing, and they believe in you. So they, you know what I'm saying, if anything, if they say something, listen to them. Don't listen to just the people that, again, once you walk away, you're going to forget they ever existed 10 minutes later. Don't give them that power over you. Don't give them that energy over you. With that being said, I think that was like, I don't know how long it's been. How long it's been? I don't know how long I've been going about this. Over an hour. Jeez. Rent, rant. Anyway, Call of Duty is still 63% updated. Not getting nowhere with that. So, let's 2x a code, shall we? Game update available. A game update is available. The game is to restart and apply. Oh my goodness. Oh, don't come out and tell me that I have to restart the system to play the game next. That's what I get for taking time to talk about AI. And then I even nope. I did not even name it. Let's see how where are we at with this? Keep your games updated while Riot Client is running so you're always ready to play. Yep, let's go ahead and just so I'm always ready to play. You go ahead and resume. Alright, cool. Yeah, if I was about to sit and wait for an update, man, I would have just ended the stream and come back later because it's like I can't do nothing on Steam right now. I can't do. Oh, know it. I would have did some art. Ah, golly, that was a lot that was said. Um, before I start playing, I need to take care of some things real quick. Set up my get my headphones going so the audio from this doesn't come out to it. Let's see. Did it? Did the headphones connect? Yeah, I'm getting out of my headphones. It's everything good on OBS. If I click, you guys still hear that? Cool. All right. Well, let's get some music going. And let me go make sure everything's fine around the house real quick, and then I'll be back and we can get some 2Xico in. Alright, I'm back. Get in some 2Xico. See what's goes. See what it goes, right? Private lobby. Did not mean to go in here. Did not mean to go in here at all. But that being said, man, I wish I had a room like this. Look at that. I got my little DJ set up over here. Little couch, little thing. Only thing is, I will put this here over here, right? And these here, I'll actually use these as footrest, and I'll put basically this setup here be over here. Like at least get like one couch like over here or something like that. Like pretty much one of these couches here. Put that right here in front of these two things. Boy, I don't know why this is over here. I think this would just be too distracting for the main stage right here and whatnot. And then we have two more over here, which I think is dope. And then you got the little just chill area, kind of chill. Only thing is you would need a, so I'm guessing this area here would be the dance floor.
But I think what we probably should do is move this thing here, keep this area clear, and this just be the dance floor. And then we have like two little arcade things over here on the dance floor, so people can still, you know what I'm saying, dance. Yeah, then get your fight on, and then yeah. If you're resting, you just chill back and watch people dance. So probably, that'll be fine. Yep. That being said, let's get out of here. Hooey, oh my. Alright. And to win it. I've been sloughing on the heart, so I do want to get it in the heart. I haven't played with Darius in a while. I think we can do it. I think we can get it down. Let's do it.
I am the tip of the...
Ready! Let's go!
Chomp, 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 slash, 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 bark. Bang, 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 boom, bang. Swat. Swat. Ah! Yo, like, how did everything slip past? You know what? This is a little buggy. I think it's because Call of Duty is updating. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to end the stream and come back after all the updates hit. This is like buggy, man. And I'm playing rank, so like all this stuff counts. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to end the stream and come back once all the downloading is done. Like, I want to know if it's all skippy for you guys. I'll go back and watch the video, see if it's playing clear for y'all or not. Cause like I'm not lying.
Like frames are, it's jumping from frame to frame. My button inputs are delayed. I don't feel like I have any control over my character, and it's not because I'm getting my ass whooped. This is not the ass whooping I usually get, even when I can't touch a person. Usually when I can't touch a person, I get my ass whooped. Is well earned and deserved because that person is just good. He knows all my wake ups, he knows my timing and all that. But this here is just like, it really feels like I'm not controlling my character at all. So that being said, cause this is going on my points. Good, get the kill. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you just so I'm not a foot. But that's gonna be, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do that again. I just lost. I got 3 more points, so 1 more lose, I'm demoted back to gold. So I would definitely start this again after all the updates and everything and things that are making my computer run slow. So that being said, yep, I'll start see you guys a little bit later once the updates are done, yeah?